Of course, we have ongoing serious flooding in our western counties, road closures, water rescues, and of course, dams have breached. I'll show you what to expect as you're heading out.
We just saw water running on the floors in our house.
Those water rescues as homes are flooded in Durham this morning from heavy rain. We're following the threats that these floodwaters are creating.
And flooding in Chapel Hill. Impacts from Chantal being felt across the triangle. What you need to know about conditions on the road. Torrential rain has flooded homes and cars and even washed out roads across the viewing area, all because of a tropical system. A lot to tell you about on this very busy Monday morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan, and we're not out of that trouble just yet. Today's a WRAL weather alert day because of that flooding. We have team coverage for you that continues this morning on the impacts of Chantal all across the triangle. First, we turn it over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner right now.
So we had the storm set up and just continue to dump heavy rain in our western counties. We didn't see these impacts in any other part of the viewing area, but these highlighted counties in green are where we saw 6 to 8 inches of rain. And of course, that ended up with some record flooding in some places, especially along the Eno and the Haw River overnight last night. Right now, we're looking at just the end of the precipitation, a couple of light showers lingering, but nothing that's going to add to your issues in terms of flooding. But you may run into some light showers from Raleigh over toward Wendell and up toward Wake Forest. And then along the I-85 corridor from South Hill back down through Creedmoor and Henderson. Here's a look at where we saw all that heavy rain, those dark purple areas, 6 to 8 inches, all the way down from Moore County all the way up to Person County. We're dealing with roads that are closed, dams that have breached, homes that have flooded. And here's a look at Chantal, the remnants of the storm. It's still a tropical depression, but moving away from us. So today, of course, is a WRAL weather alert day. We're still seeing flooding ongoing. There are trees that you may come across on the roads that are closed, water on the roads. If you come across water on the road, turn around and go the opposite direction. We will see some sunshine today, and a lot of folks will have a lot of cleanup to do. There could be a few isolated cells that pop up later today, but they should be really of very little consequence. High temperatures will be in the low 90s. The heat index today will be in the upper 90s, and that could get even higher later in the week. I'll show you that coming up, Chris.
Now, Elizabeth, before we start showing some maps, just first off, folks, 3 things you have to know about the conditions out there. We're talking about the National Weather Service warning of washed out roads. Please be cognizant of that. Steer clear of rivers and streams. Just make sure you're very mindful about that as you're driving. And then watch for those low water spots too, because those can be kind of deceiving. Looking at conditions right here, this is I-540 at US 70, and there's a lot more vehicles out in the car or on the road, but not looking as wet on that particular road as I've seen other ones this morning. We're also monitoring conditions on crashes, which I still have not seen a single crash icon just yet, but I suspect that may change as the morning progresses. As you are driving during your morning commute, folks, today is absolutely the day to take us with you on the road. 101.5 HD3.
The impact of Chantal has caused severe flooding in our western counties. This map shows the widespread effects of the storm, including some tornado reports as well. Flooding is a serious issue in Durham right now because of the rising Eno River. Ali Kadlubar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. She is over at the Rippling Stream Townhomes near North Roxborough Street. And Ali, crews have been working for hours getting people to safety.
Yes, Renee, and we've been here for the past 4 hours, and we've seen those rescue efforts underway continuously. It looks like possibly the last out has returned after 10 minutes, and there were no residents on that boat. Hopefully that's a good sign. They've gotten everyone. Take a look at this WRAL breaker. This was around this morning. Residents on raft. The fire crews had to.
All right, Ali Kadlubar there in Durham County with those rescues continuing there. Having a little trouble with the audio. There's a lot of weather happening out there. But you can see from the time that she came on the air from 4:30 this morning, that water has receded quite a bit there. Hopefully the rescue's subsiding right now. We'll check back in with her. Orange County, meantime, under a state of emergency because of intense flooding there. It has affected roads all across our viewing area in that area. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in the WR Storm Tracker right now, monitoring the effects of Chantal in Chapel Hill.
Yes, Jeff, right now we are at the intersection of Willow and Estes Drive. We'll give you a live look now at what we're seeing with emergency crews I guess they're working here on some water rescues. We just arrived here within the last 2 minutes, so we haven't had a chance yet to hop out of the storm tracker and get some more information. But just to give you some perspective on where we are, we're right across the street here from a shopping center. I may be able to turn the camera so you can see a parking lot there. But there are several cars in that parking lot that are damaged. And then further up this road is Camelot Village. They had several people that were displaced from that apartment complex. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on what we're able to find out within the next couple of minutes. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center, where more than 30,000 customers are waking up in the dark in North Carolina. If we zoom in and give you a closer look at the problem areas closer to home here, Orange County now looking at more than 16 customers without power. This number actually jumped within the last 2 to 3 hours here, from about 10,000 to now 16,000. So we're not seeing progress when it comes to power outages within this area. That's likely because it's really difficult for crews to get into some of these areas that are completely washed out because of the flash flooding from yesterday. If you do see crews working in the area, be mindful of that. But overall, you want to report any outages you see in your community to Duke Energy.
And in Chatham County, Sheriff Mike Roberson says part of Highway 902 near Chatham Central Road has been shut down after the road collapsed yesterday. The sheriff says over 100 roads there are flooded across Chatham County. He is encouraging people to stay off the roads and avoid driving through water. Chatham County schools also announced that all operations, including summer camps, are canceled today. Moore County is under a state of emergency as severe weather washed out 2 dams yesterday, and more are at risk of failure. There have been significant impacts across that county, including over on U.S. Highway 1, where officials have closed off part of the road because of flooding. In Southern Pines, several roads are washed out, and a retaining wall failed near a shopping center on Brucewood Road. People are also cleaning up after the Longleaf Dam failed, sending water into at least 2 homes. The rushing water also overtopped a different dam downstream, washing away the car of a driver who tried to cross the floodwaters. No deaths have been reported across the county, but there were other losses. Rick Herrera describes the moment floodwaters surged into his basement.
And within a minute, man, water was in and flooded and waist high, and it pushed the refrigerator in, it pushed lots of things flooding down the hallway, and I was trying to get my wife and my father-in-law out of the rushing water. We didn't want to get trapped or pinned by anything, so it was a scary moment.
Some areas across Moore County reported seeing up to 8 inches of rain.
That will keep it in Moore County, Renee, as video continues to show extensive damage from the torrential rain. A sinkhole there formed on Pennsylvania Avenue right near US 1. Midland Road at US 1 saw fast flowing water there. The whole side of the road completely washed out, forming a waterfall right there. Also, a huge tree crashed down on US 15501 just north of Highway 73. This is in Carthage. Between the flooded streets and fallen trees, driving has been a real challenge.
Chantal also produced spin-up tornadoes and 1 touchdown in Lee County, bringing down trees, damaging several homes, and at least 1 hangar over at the Raleigh Executive Jetport. This happened in Sanford. At that jetport, some of the hangars nearly had their roofs blown off. Nearby, we spoke with a homeowner on Rod Sullivan Road who says his shed flipped over and nearly hit another home. Several mobile home parks were hit hard. The storm ripped off siding and damaged foundations of several trailers. One person we spoke with says they are no longer able to live in their home after the storm.
In Cary, meantime, police said a storm drain got blocked off, and that's what caused this rainwater to pond and spill over the road onto U.S. Highway 1, right on the ramp there off of Tryon Road yesterday. And that in turn caused a car to get trapped in that area. The car was pulled out. No one was hurt. The ramp has since reopened. You can track the impacts of Chantal with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download and use. Coming up on 10 after 6 right now on your Monday, Chantal's impacts, flooded roads and water rescues across our viewing area. We'll take you to Durham as crews work to get people out of their flooded homes there this morning.
And a boy's frightening discovery, a bullet that pierced his bedroom during a 4th of July celebration. Coming up, how his mom is calling for accountability.
And of course, today is a WRAL weather alert day as we're dealing with flooding across the area. We've been talking about kind of walking through what you'll see: down trees, road closures, water on the roads, flooding that's happening. Make sure you stay with us. We'll let you know what to expect as you head out the door.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, still a little light rain showing up here on dual Doppler 5000 radar, but for the most part, the rain is tapering off. Of course, the flooding is ongoing in our western counties, where we ended up with 6 to 8 inches of rain here. The flood advisory will continue until 9 a.m. We have a lot of road closures. Water rescues were going on overnight. We're waiting for those water levels to recede. They'll gradually begin to do that as we get through the morning. Also, yesterday we had tornadoes. We had some tornado damage right there, sort of on the line of Orange and Alamance County, and then down here in Sanford near the airport. And we'll go over that in more detail coming up. What about the rest of the day today? We'll actually see the clouds breaking up as we get closer to lunchtime, and then a small chance for some afternoon storms. It is going to be a hot day today. We'll see high temperatures in the low 90s, and it will feel more like almost triple digits, and it'll feel even hotter in the next few days. You can start to see the clouds breaking up a little bit there in Chapel Hill now. Chris?
Elizabeth, elsewhere, we're looking at our cameras this morning and our traffic system. It looks like at I-540, you're at least able to see a little more activity in terms of cars there, but the road, still some wet spots, especially off to the side there. So if you're taking that road there, this is at Lumley Road, just make sure you're careful. You don't want to hit any hydroplane spots. Elsewhere, we're looking across the triangle. We've seen it pretty clear for the most part. No crash icons yet, which is good, but could that change? It's quite possible as the morning progresses. And as the morning progresses, make sure you keep us with you on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We will keep you informed all morning long.
Happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, the Person County Sheriff's Office now reporting at least 30 roads shut down or either impacted from flash flooding. Here you can see that list, really focusing here on the roads impacted by flooding. We're talking about Bordenton Road, Newton Pleasant Loop Road, Hester Store Road, and Robert Hester at Hester's Store Road, to list a few. Then we have the bridge here also on Hester's Store Road. So people in Person County really want to be mindful of these areas. The other list kind of goes into more detail about where cones are set up that you should watch out for as well. But as you know, Person County in this area, all of this is a huge majority of Person County. So if you're traveling this morning, you really want to be mindful. But honestly, if you do not have to leave your house, especially in the early morning hours today, stay home.
From flooded roads to flooded homes, breaking news, an active scene playing out in Durham right now as crews are rescuing people from flooded homes. We want to go back to WRAL's Ali Kadlubar as she tracks the progress from officials and the impact from these devastating floods. Ali, I know those crews have been working nonstop through these early morning hours.
Yes, Renee, and you can see exactly why right here. This is in the further deep into the townhomes right next to the Eno River. You can see that the floodwaters, they have risen all the way up to some overflowing on top of cars, some just halfway through cars, and you can just see the damage right there, even some floodwaters going up to people's homes as well. We know that the water has gone down, though, within the past hour and a half, so who knows how bad it was just about an hour and a half ago. But those rescue efforts, they do appear to be wrapping up right now. We're going to be keeping you guys updated throughout the morning. Reporting in Durham, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
And that was at the Rippling Street townhomes near North Roxborough Street. New data shows thousands of North Carolina teachers are quitting every year before they ever get a full teaching license. The state has struggled with teacher vacancies. Schools increasingly rely on people who are switching careers to fill classrooms. But state officials estimate more than 2,000 of those teachers quit this past school year. WRAL's Education Insider spoke with some of these teachers. They say there are too many barriers to getting a full license, including the cost of taking college classes in education. You can find out more about this issue and what teachers think would help over at the education section on WRAL.com. Celebratory gunfire during major holidays has taken the lives of 2 people in Durham since 2020. This year, a 4-year-old child almost became the next victim. Lashina Lyons says on the eve of the holiday, things got rowdy near her home on Plum Street. The next day, her 4-year-old son found a bullet in his bedroom. Lyons saw the hole in the ceiling and realized what happened.
Something has to be done. It's the young people that's running around with guns like they're toys. And they're just, randomly shooting. And these bullets, they're going somewhere. They're landing somewhere. And it could hit anybody. And it could hit anyone's child, grandmother, it could destroy a family.
Lyons did file a report with Durham police. They are investigating what happened.
A person walking along Rock Quarry Road in Raleigh is in critical condition after being hit by a minivan. It happened near Lyndhurst Drive just after midnight yesterday. Police say the driver stayed at that scene and helped with the investigation. Elizabeth Gardner is over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now, and daylight shedding some more light on some of the situations where that flooding is, Elizabeth.
It does make it a little safer on the roads because people can see where the water is, but then it's up to you to turn around and not drive through it. More people die during flooding driving their car into a flooded road than any other way, so be careful out there. You can see the rain is almost over at this point. A couple of showers here in northern Wake County moving over toward Wendell, and then a little bit of light rain from South Hill down the I-85 corridor. We take a look at what's happening. We see a tropical depression, Chantal, moving away from us on up into Virginia. And so conditions will improve, but slowly. Flood advisory from Person County all the way down to Moore County until 9 a.m. And in all of these counties, we've had roads closed or washed out. We've had several dams break. We have water rescues that have been going on. So in this area, this is where we saw the heaviest rain, as much as 6 to 8 inches. You can see that again from Person County all the way down to Moore County. Just an intense amount of rain in that area starting late yesterday, overnight last night, and now is finally tapering off. Futurecast shows that rain pulling away from us over the next few hours, and by lunchtime we see some sunshine, and that will be good for people cleaning up. There may be an isolated shower or two, giving it a 20% chance later on today, but the heat could be an issue for folks trying to clean up. We'll see highs in the low 90s, and the heat index will be into the upper 90s. So what you need to know is the rain is moving out, but the flooding will be ongoing in our western counties at least until the middle of the morning. We've had some water rescues and a lot of road closures. Of course, the path of a storm dictates where we're going to see the biggest impacts. Meteorologist Chris Michaels here to talk about that in a little bit more detail.
And the unfortunate thing is that we were on that northern fringe and northeastern corner of the storm, and that's where you tend to see those tornadoes developing. And as we saw from Woolley Danley last night, that tornado hit in Sanford in Lee County. We have a lot more information on that on WRAL.com. When I was on air with you guys yesterday, I kept saying that there was the threat for that, but it wasn't going to be as high as Debbie or Helene. That's because between those two storms, there were more than 100 tornado warnings in the state of North Carolina alone. Yesterday, there were 8 tornado warnings, and unfortunately, one of those enough to do damage. Meteorologist Mike Mays got this image from the debris detector, and this was part of the hangar at the Sanford Airport there that was being wafted into the storm. Thankfully, the weather calmed today, but Elizabeth, a lot of cleanup in our western counties for the next few days.
Absolutely, and we have record flooding that happened, is still happening on the Eno River in Durham. The old record was during Hurricane Fran, and along the Eno, we've had a lot of flooding, a lot of homes damage. We also take a look at the Haw River near Bynum. It's going to be close to record, also the previous record from Fran. There are some homes that tend to flood along the Haw River near Bynum and also down or even up a little farther upstream in Haw River. Major flooding on the Haw River, looking at moderate flooding on the Deep River and on the Cape Fear, and over the next day or two, we'll be watching those closely. Cloudy skies in Durham right now, 76 degrees, so it's a warm and muggy start, and temperatures will climb into the low 90s. This afternoon, it'll feel like 99, but by tomorrow, it'll feel like 106, and then Wednesday 104, so there could be some heat advisories that are posted. We'll be watching for that, and then a chance of some more rain by mid to late week. Chris?
Elizabeth, still looking at different cameras to kind of get a perspective of what it looks like out on the roads here. What you're seeing right here is I-540 at Capitol Boulevard. Little bit bit of rain on the lens, but not too bad, right? But it gives you a good idea of what people are contending with right now, which for the most part, things are pretty clear. Rain-wise, the radar on top of the traffic map shows you there are still some wet spots to consider, so keep that in mind so you don't hydroplane when you're out and about on the roads there. In terms of what we're seeing elsewhere, in terms of delays, I mean, 0 minutes on each of these on the NC36 to I-540 and Wade Avenue to I-540 as well. So just one thing to keep in mind when you're going out on the road today, just even though we're not seeing those delays, it's still worthy of just taking your time when you're out there. I have been looking on this map all morning long to see any kind of crash icon. I still have not seen one, which is good. But if that changes, I'll be sure to update you, and you can hear that update if you're tuned into the radio to us, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Chris. A helping hand. A North Carolina volunteer group is on the ground in Texas. How they're supporting recovery efforts after devastating flooding.
And Prime Day scams. Amazon's big sale is this week, and that means scammers are ramping up their efforts to try to fool you. 5 on Your Side explains how to confirm whether a message that says it's from Amazon is real or fake.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The NFL and a Good Samaritan are making headlines today as people deal with devastating floods in Texas.
Let's take a look at what's trending here on our Monday morning. A Good Samaritan in Georgetown, Texas, jumped into action over the weekend. This video shows a man braving the floodwaters after he saw a puppy stuck in the water at an RV park. The high waters have devastated several parts of Texas in recent days.
I'm sure that man didn't want to watch the puppy struggle. He took a calculated risk. Glad both are okay.
That's neck deep.
The NFL is stepping in to help the victims in the deadly flooding in Texas. The Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans are joining the league in donating a combined $1.5 million to help with the ongoing ground efforts and long-term recovery. The Cowboys, Texans, and NFL Foundation are each making a $500,000 donation.
Yeah, the two Texas-based NFL teams, and then the league kicking in from there as well for some immediate help, and hopefully they're going to need that help into the future as well.
It will be a long process of recovery.
Coming up, Durham water rescues as homes are being threatened this morning due to flood waters. We'll tell you what we know about the people who are affected by this.
And storm damage. Orange County under a state of emergency from the impacts of Chantal. We'll show you the impacts of the intense flooding.
And some of those impacts, of course, are flooding that's ongoing. We had several dams break. We had 6 to 8 inches of rainfall in our western counties. Some roads are still closed. We'll keep you updated on what to expect as you head out through the morning.